Hello and welcome to Encore. Coming up in today's show. News from the Croisette as the Cannes Film Festival reveals the official selection of features in competition this year. The couple who embodied the romance of French pop in the 1960s, Jane and Serge, are the subject of a new photography exhibition in Calais as the Gainsbourg family album goes on show. And Subodh Gupta's installations, sculptures and videos take pride of place at Paris's Mint as the Indian artist is celebrated with a retrospective here in France. We're starting with cinema, and the industry's gearing up for this year's Cannes Film Festival, which opens next month. Its director Thierry Frémaux has announced the films in the official selection this year, 18 features all competing for the top prize, the Palme d'Or. Among the contenders, a film by French new wave icon Jean-Luc Godard, as well as a movie by American director Spike Lee. But one American giant will not be at the festival, and that's Netflix. The streaming platform isn't showing any features this year after being banned from the competition for not releasing its films in cinemas. Brian Quinn has more.
Who will take the Palme d'Or in 2018? Among the 18 films in the official selection, Spike Lee's Black Klansman, based on the true story of an African-American police officer who infiltrated the KKK. Giant of French cinema Jean-Luc Godard returns to the festival he once helped to disrupt in May of 1968 with his new film Le Livre d'Images. The festival opens May 8th with Iranian director Asghar Farhadi's psychological thriller Everybody Knows, starring Penelope Cruz and Javier Bardem. But Farhadi's fellow Iranian, Jafar Panahi, will likely be absent for the presentation of his film Three Faces, as he is under a political travel ban in his home country.
We want to say this morning to the Iranian political authorities that they will receive a letter from us and the French authorities. An invitation to finally allow Jafar Panahi to leave Iran, to come and present his work, and to let him return to his country.
Russian director Kirill Serebrennikov is another dissident filmmaker unlikely to be able to present his work as he remains under house arrest. Cate Blanchett will head the jury that decides the Palme d'Or. But while the Me Too and Time's Up movements push for gender justice and equality in the global film industry, just 3 women are among the directors in the running for the grand prize. One major distributor will be absent. Netflix has pulled all its films following a dispute with festival organizers over a rule that would require its offerings to be released in French theaters prior to streaming them.
Cannes is a film festival in theaters, and for the territory of France, we would like to have all the films competing in Cannes available in theaters.
Netflix had planned to show Orson Welles' final unfinished film, The Other Side of the Wind.
Next, he was the enfant terrible of French pop culture from the 1960s right up until his death in 1991. Serge Gainsbourg was best known for his songwriting, but also for his relationship with British model Jane Birkin. She was his muse and partner in a relationship carried out very much in the public eye. One photographer in particular had unrivaled access to the celebrity couple, and that's Birkin's brother, Andrew. He's now lent his personal albums to the exhibition Jane and Serge, which just opened in Calais. Here's a preview.
Ça, c'est l'histoire de
one of France's most iconic love stories, that of Serge Gainsbourg and Jane Birkin. But the famous Franco-British duo was in some ways a trio. Hidden behind the lens, Jane's brother Andrew, a screenwriter and director who has dusted off his treasure trove of snaps of the couple, handing them over to curators at the Calais Museum of Fine Arts. For Andrew, Serge was more than just his sister's partner.
Well, he was one of the great loves of my life, I would say, in the platonic sense. I couldn't be in competition with Jane, really. He's one of the 2 or 3 people in my life that's meant the most to me.
A sentiment shared by Serge, with Andrew often joining the couple on family trips.
Il était là He was there on vacations, on shoots I did that were rather boring, and they had so much fun, him and Serge. I knew that if Andrew came, it would cheer up Serge. It was marvellous.
This intimacy between photographer and subjects shines through in the collection.
It's just very touching, just charming. And I think we get to discover Serge through Andrew's photos.
The nostalgic Jane and Serge exhibition documents the love affair from when it began on a film set in '68. The couple, perhaps best known for their scandalous Je t'aime moi non plus, recorded soon after, and in many countries was an international hit nonetheless. The collection takes us through to Birkin walking out in '98, unable to deal with Gainsbourg's melancholy character and heavy drinking. The two remained close until Gainsbourg's death in '91.
L'amour physique est sans issue.
Staying with photography, this year's World Press Photo has been announced, and the prize goes to an image of a man ablaze, taken during anti-government protests in Caracas. Ronaldo Schmidt was covering the story for the Agence France Presse when he got the shot. He said he was alerted to the scene by the heat of the flames caused by a motorbike which exploded close to protesters. Civil unrest in Venezuela has proved to be rich terrain for photojournalists this year, with the third prize awarded to an image made at the same time of the same protester, but taken by Juan Barreto. Next, we're going to a building here in Paris that's better known for churning out metal work than exhibiting it. The city's Mint is hosting a show featuring work by Indian artist Subodh Gupta. Known for his steel, copper and brass creations, his monumental installations are often made up of unassuming objects, such as pots, pans, buckets and even bikes. This latest exhibition is Gupta's first retrospective here in France. Maria Sofos and Marie Schuster went to check it out.
Standing over 2 meters high and weighing nearly a ton, Very Hungry God helped build a reputation for Subodh Gupta in Paris when it was first installed here in 2006, and where it now takes pride of place in the Monnaie de Paris, France's official mint.
We exhibited in San Bernard, church in San Bernard, and church in San Bernard politically also very, historically very charged in this Paris city. Also, I subbed a soup kitchen during this performance with the Louis Vuitton's Very Hungry God. So I'm doing the performance with the food from many, many years now.
Gupta is an artist engaged with society. Through the everyday items he uses as his artistic trademark, he has something to say.
A lot of these pieces, which are like glances at everyday life, are also comments on the world today. For example, immigration, which is addressed in both a metaphorical way through the boat in the exhibit and in a more real way through objects like baggage. So there's this very contemporary idea of the forced journey, and then there are also many comments on the strong social and sociological differences between the very rich and the very poor. And I think that his commentary can also do good elsewhere, for countries other than India.
For this new retrospective of Gupta's work, the Monnaie de Paris has renewed a tradition dating back to the 17th century, opening the doors of their workshop to the Indian sculptor and allowing him to leave his own mark on the city in the form of this coin, now a piece of French history.
Next to a selection of artwork that takes visitors on a virtual voyage around the globe, In Tune with the World has just opened at the Louis Vuitton Foundation here in Paris. Curators have mined the gallery's collection to piece together the conceptual show, which takes in a variety of different mediums. Catherine Clifford reports.
An exploration of humanity's place in the universe and our interconnections with one another, animals, plants, and inanimate objects. In Tune with the World brings together modern and contemporary works in a variety of mediums, such as Christian Boltanski's multisensory video installations.
I've always presented this work surrounded by flowers. Scent counts just as much as vision and sound. I wanted the viewer to be completely encompassed by the work, with all the senses drawn in by it.
Takashi Murakami's monumental fresco The Octopus Eats Its Own Leg is displayed here for the first time in Paris. Murakami combines the Japanese kawaii or cute culture aesthetics with classical and experimental techniques to delve into his country's traumas, using recurring characters such as his alter ego, Mr. Dob.
I created the Dob character 20 years ago, and I've used it several times. I'm always repeating lots of my characters again and again on my artworks.
Young American visual artist and poet Bunny Rogers brings a series of digital portraits, laying bare France's heroine, Joan of Arc.
It's important to me that the model itself, the 3D rendering of Joan, has pectus excavatum, which is also a physical defect that I have. Actually, standing between them, I feel a little vulnerable because they're so open and the viewer will interact with them in such an open manner.
This theme of vulnerability runs into Korean conceptual artist Annika Yee's 3D films shot in the Amazon.
As an artist, my job is to reveal and somehow try to tap into humanity's anxieties around intolerance and discomfort around the issues of our time.
Spread across 3 floors of the iconic Frank Gehry building, In Tune with the World runs until August 27th.
And we're finishing with a selection of films that are bringing the best of Japanese culture to the French capital. The NHK World Japan Festival at the Maison du Japon here in Paris is screening documentaries that cover everything from gastronomy to samurais. Top of the bill is a film that follows an anime superstar and one of the founders of the studio Ghibli while he's hard at work. We'll leave you with a clip of that film called Hayao Miyazaki, Never-Ending Man. Remember to check out our website for more arts and culture, and you can keep up with Encore on social media too. There's more news coming up on France 24 after this.
こんな体力のなくなった力を失っている年寄りがね、なんかもう一回青春が来るんじゃないかって錯覚をとんでもない間違いだから不思議なもんだね。新しいウイルスを作ってる感じがこう難しいね。情けない。全部この何十年かの積み重ねがパーンなる瞬間ですよね。夏の雨は降ってない。
En France 24 nos esforzamos por brindar la mejor información hecha por periodistas de Latinoamérica y del resto del mundo.
France 24, c'est l'info mondiale, partout, toujours à portée de clic.
We look at how technology is shaping the future, and we show you the latest gadgets you can soon get your hands on.
نقدم لكم الاقتصاد بطريقة مختلفة، نبسط المفاهيم والمصطلحات كي تكتمل الصورة لديكم.
Aquí puedo hablar de medio ambiente, no solo de los problemas que afectan a nuestro planeta, sino también de iniciativas y soluciones que a veces no tienen espacio en televisión.
La différence sur France 24, c'est l'idée du reportage. Nos grands reportages, vous ne les verrez nulle part ailleurs.